So the yoga for paddlers is exactly what you would think it would be in essence, which is a yoga class where it's designed to help us with our paddling specifically. So although it will be a general yoga class where you'll see, if you've ever been to yoga before, you're gonna see a lot of the same postures. The cueing and the emphasis is on how is this gonna help our paddling? How is this gonna help our technique, our physical technique, but also the mindset of competition? Because most of us, even if it's the festival, or some of us are gonna be doing international, all the way up to international competitions, we're all gonna be competing at some point, even if it's just against each other. Who's done just from that 200 into the docks? Just with another team. We've all done that, right? Under Dragonheart team. Yeah. That's competition. You can feel it's different. Can you feel it? Even though we're all ha ha ha, we're gonna get you. But then when you're going, you're going, right? It's a different mindset. So yoga is really interesting because the yoga itself, the ancient texts of yoga, are around battles and wars. The Bhagavad Gita, which is the very first, not the very first, but it's the most well-known ancient text of yoga, takes place the first page. It is Arjuna, the warrior, and Krishna, who is the supreme personality of Godhead, on a battlefield, and Krishna is having a crisis of conscience. Arjuna is having a crisis of conscience around fighting. Because he looks out and he sees his brothers and his sisters and his family and his friends. And he's like, I can't do this, I can't fight. And he literally has basically what we would consider in this day and age a panic attack, and drops his bow and is I can't do it, He's the greatest warrior in the world at this time. And Krishna, who is his charioteer, who drives the chariot for Arjuna, the whole Bhagavad Gita is him convincing Krishna to fight and why he has to fight and why he must fulfill his duty. It's very fascinating, And so when we think about yoga, often we be vegetarianism, pacifism, right? Which it is that. It's not about frivolously, killing or being violent, but one of the major messages within the Bhagavad Gita is to do your duty. And your duty changes, right? Sometimes your duty is to be a parent. Sometimes it's to be a child to your parent, right? We have that even now if our parents are still alive. My mom's let me do this for you. I'm Mom, you're freaking 80. I would never do it, right? Or letting my mom make me tea. I'm taking on, that's my dharma in that moment. And with our dragon boating, our dharma changes as well, whether we're steering the boat or we're coaching, where we're in a practice and we're focusing on our own technique, or we're in competition and we come together and we have to show up as athletes, right, and to move the boat. So this is in our yoga practice, it's going to ask for different things from us, and it's about confronting the confrontation into this discomfort that the yoga is going to bring. And it's uncomfortable. There's no yoga class you're gonna, except for restorative maybe, that you're gonna do that you're not gonna find. You're gonna be confronted with discomfort. And your reaction to that is what is interesting and what matters. You're never gonna get away from discomfort, ever. In life, dragon boating or yoga or anything, it's always gonna be there. It's about learning to ride the waves, right? They call it sometimes learning yoga is learning to surf. You never know the wave you're going to get. You can try to tell, right? You're going to be okay, I think this is a good one, maybe. But once you're on it, you're on it. And you can learn to ride the wave. So that's what we want to do. We want to be able to learn how to be uncomfortable. Where's the line between pushing yourself, but then going too far, right? And feeling pain. We don't ever want to feel pain. We know to back off if we feel that way, right? So you have to figure that out for yourself. And being in this container on the mat, which is sort of our laboratory where we experiment, do all this stuff, and then we can bring it out into the real world. But that's what we're learning here. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's get started. I talked a lot, so we're going to need to get right into tabletop position. So coming into hands and knees, spreading the fingers really, really wide. So stretching out the little V's between each finger. Tops of the feet are down. And then walk your hands out about 3-4 inches. So we're a little longer than a regular table. And we're going to start to draw some circles with the pelvis. So the pelvis is going to go around, whatever, counterclockwise, clockwise, whatever comes first, just go with it. But finding that 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, what's the other one? 9, yeah, that's the one.
I thought that was a trick question.
I couldn't remember. Wait, what are the numbers look like? Change directions. I will tell you what, the kids that work for me are mostly between the ages of like 14 and 25. And they have a very hard time reading regular clocks. And I refuse to change the clocks in the restaurant. I'm like, nope, you're this. It's very funny. Good, bringing the hips to stillness, bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders. So now we're back to that really stable table. On your inhalation, extend the spine. So we're gonna lift the sit bones, drop the belly, lift the heart. And then exhale, tuck the tail, round the spine, chin to chest, pressing the floor away, looking down. Good, continue to flow. Inhale, extends the spine. And the exhale rounds the spine, starting with the pelvis. So the pelvis is what is initiating the movement. You can imagine that this is like a wave moving through the spine. Remembering the neck is a part of the spine. Sometimes we forget that because it often is working independently. Last full in breath and out breath. And returning to neutral spine. We're going to do some bird dogging here. On your inhalation, opposite arm and leg is going to reach out. So think about getting really, really long stretch. Exhale to bring elbow and knee underneath you, maybe touching, chin to chin. Inhale, extend, get long, and exhale to the breath is a constant companion in our practice. And the way that we move in yoga is that we're synchronizing the movement of the breath with the movement of the body. The last one on the side, returning to your table, finding center. I like to do like a little, okay, we're good. And then starting on second side. Long, smooth breaths and movements. Full breath. Finding your table once again. Nice. We're going to bring the right foot forward to replace the hand. Coming up into 90-90. So we've got 90 degrees in the knees and the hips. Yeah. So when the inhale comes, use it to lift the left arm high. Exhale to laterally bend. Now there's two options for the front arm. You can press the arm into the inner thigh. And there is pressure there. And that pressure gives you a little bit of leverage to get yourself a little deeper. The other option, if you're feeling steady in your balance, is to reach the fingertips down towards the floor. It's a little less steady though. So just have that awareness. It's still kind of the beginning of class. You don't need to crank it up to 100 feet yet. Inhaling to bring both arms over the head. Exhale, reach out towards the mirrors. Good. Inhale here, roll the shoulders down and back. Exhale, right arm opens up, coming into a twist, gentle gaze over the back shoulder. So not cranking the neck, but just like a little intention to look behind you. Yeah, keeping the chin a little lifted. If it feels like it's dropped down and you're kind of staring at the floor, lift that chin up, keep breathing, keep the breath flowing. The inhalation brings both arms up and over the head. The exhale is going to bring the hands to the outside of the front foot. So we're going to walk that foot out about a foot. And then rock back to find a little bit of extension in the knee. Now you might not straighten the knee completely. This is also a great time to use a block on either side. If you have two blocks, that's even better because you can use one on each side. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, whenever the floor feels far away, that's when you use your blocks to bring the floor up to you, if that makes sense. Good. Notice what happens when you tuck the chin towards the chest. Ooh. And then lift it back away. Is that interesting or what? Does anybody else feel a pretty big difference in the sensation in the back of the knee or no? Feeling anything? Dropping the chin down versus looking up? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm like, really, am I the only one? But what this is saying, good, drag the heel towards you, plant it, and then we're back into our upright position. So the important thing to note about that is the position of the cervical spine, like your neck, affects the entire posterior chain of your body. Isn't that interesting? And vice versa. So it's just a fun little experiment for that. Okay, we're coming back to our tabletop position, and then we're gonna bring the left foot forward. Okay. Cool. Oh, I remember. On the inhale, left arm reaches high, and then it's been 2 weeks. No, well, it hasn't actually, has it? It's been just 1 week.
Well, we didn't have class last.
Yeah. Brett was supposed to send out an apology email to everyone, which I didn't see, but because I was like, he's like, no.
I texted him as soon as we got done.
I know. He's got so much on his plate and he's been so sick. I felt really bad. I'm like, I forgot to text. You're good. Inhale, bring his arms over the head. Exhale to reach out in front. Inhale, roll the shoulders down and back, lift the heart. And the exhale, bring us into the twist. Good. Thinking length and tallness right through the spine. Like you're getting taller with your inhales. And on your exhales, relax your shoulders down, but keep reaching the fingertips away from each other. Yeah, so just directing that energy in a different way. Relaxing the muscles of your face. Good. On your inhalation, both arms come up and over the head. Exhale to frame the front foot. Nice. So we're going to set up our little hamstring stretch. You're going to walk it out. Hi, Caroline. Just been staring at myself.
The Zoom link is coming.
What? I like those pants.
Thank you. We didn't have the right Zoom link, so there's probably other people still coming in now, just to let you know.
Oh, no. What? Why wasn't it right? Do you know what the situation is?
Nope.
How did you get in?
Brett just sent it.
Oh, maybe because it's a new...
Yeah.
Session.
A new site. I was wondering that because I was like, oh my God, these poor people trying to do Poga. They're just trying to do Poga and it is not easy. All right, tucking the chin. Bring that chin almost to the chest if you can. Yeah, and then release it. Maybe a few times if that's like an interesting sensation for you. Drag the heel back, plant the foot. Actually, wait, where are we going? Oh, we're going back to the tabletop. Fabulous. So we're gonna come into some back bends. So actually, let's do a little activation first. So walk your hands forward. We're gonna glide forward and lower down, hugging the elbows in. Once we're down on the ground, bring your arms down by your side. Squeeze your legs together. Point your toes like you're creating like a mermaid tail. And on your inhalation, we're going to peel just the chest and the arms off of the mat. So the legs are going to stay down, tops of the feet stay down. And we're coming up into this back bend by squeezing the shoulder blades in and down. Good. A little tuck of the chin, so we're not looking out in front and cranking on the back of the neck. So we're tucking the chin, looking down at the top of the mat. No slight blades, that's where you're at. Good. So keep squeezing the shoulder blades in and down, reaching the fingers towards the heels and breathing. Nice. Lower it down, bringing the hands underneath the forehead, crocodile pose, and rock the hips side to side. We'll use this coming into the low back. Nice. Arms coming back by the sides. This time we're going to lift the arms, the chest, and the legs. So squeeze those legs together on an inflation, chest, arms, and legs lift. Now squeeze your butt. Yes, the butt squeeze is important. Really heavy on the pubis bone, the pelvis is very heavy. That's kind of where all of the weight is as we try to lift the rest of the body off of the mat. Getting a lot of engagement through the posterior chain. Open the heart, squeeze those shoulder blades in, reach the fingertips towards the heels and breathe. Then lower it down, once under the forehead, bend the knees, and then windshield wiper the heels side to side. Good. Tuck toes under, hands come underneath the shoulders. Tuck the pelvis under, even so much that like part of your belly might even come off the ground. Hug your elbows in. Inhale here, and as you exhale, press to the knees. Yeah, very good. Let's do that again. Slowly lower down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, press to the knees. Yeah, and we're trying to do this with one straight line and not by doing the worm. Now, some worming might have to happen, and that's okay. But the idea, I'm going to demo one time. We just strip down. I'm going to demo one time for you so you can see what I mean. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to control my spine, right? And that means that my core is engaged. If there's movement in your spine that you're not asking for, it's because your core isn't engaged, right? So learning how to brace the core so that there's no movement in your spine is really a safety measure. That's what it is. So the lowering down, the elbows are hugging in, they're not winging out, they're moving back. So I'm going to inhale. So what I mean is, this is no bueno, okay? You want to tuck the tail under, okay? So the ribs are tucking in, elbows are hugging in. Inhale, as I exhale, I press up, and hopefully there was no movement in my spine. Okay, that's what we're practicing. We're going to do it 2 more times. So starting from the top. Good. From the top. Good. So what we're already going to do, because we're not here, right? Lift your butt and then tuck it under. Slowly lower down, hugging the elbows in. Should be hard. Inhale at the bottom. As you exhale, press up. One more time. Keep the pelvic tilt the whole time. Elbows hug in. Exhale to press up. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Very nice. Yeah, so in our down dog, we want to bend in the knees. Not a deep bend, but a bend. Feet are hip distance apart at least. So they can be actually a little wider than hip distance if that feels better. Yeah, and then prioritizing the length of the spine. So you can bend, you have really a ton of length in your hamstring. So I would bend your knees more and press your chest towards your thighs. Press your chest towards your back more. Yeah, and then without moving the upper body, try to straighten your legs a little bit. Don't straighten all the way, just a pad. Yeah. Good, good, good. Yeah, very nice. Walk your hands all the way to your feet, coming to the back of your mat. Hanging over the legs with the bend of the knees, clasp onto opposite elbows, and sway side to side. Let your head go, maybe shaking the head gently. Yes. No. Yeah. Trusting the strength and stability in your legs. Finding stillness, releasing the elbows on your inhalation. Halfway lift the spine and hold. Good. So what we're looking for is the shoulder blades squeezing back, just like we were just doing in our back bends. Do you remember what that felt like? Good. Hands come to something, whether it's, if they're not on the ground, which for most of us they won't be, then bring them to the shin. Roll the shoulders down and back. Good. Big inhale here. As you exhale, fold forward, chin to chest. Inhale, halfway lift. Find that length. Exhale, fold forward. And again, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time, rise to stand on your inhalation, coming through that flat back, right, that you just created. Rise up, exhaling to bring arms down by your side, Tadasana. Very nice. Good, arms lift up and over the head. Exhale, sit the hips back. Chair pose. Good, good, good. Nice. Yeah, the hardest thing for me in chair pose was always just having my arms over my head. I could always basically endure the burn in my legs, but it was the arms over the head. I was like, are you kidding me? Why is it so hard? On your next inhalation, straighten the legs. Exhale, full forward fold. Push your bum back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands out. Inhale at the top of your plank. Exhale, lower knees and come down, just like you practiced. Come down, come down. On your inhalation, baby cobra, peeling the chest up off of the floor. And the exhale brings us to down dog. Press up and through. Good. Let's do that again. Walking hands all the way to the feet. On your inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. This time, inhale, rise to stand. Press down to lift up. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms lift high. Exhale, sit down chair. Hold and breathe. Yes. And we start to build some heat. Finding that chair, right? With these chairs a little different. I like to think of mine as a throne more than a chair. No, I'm kidding. The whole like a tall bar stool would be perfect. Good. On the inhalation, straighten the legs, look up. Exhale, fully forward fold. Push your bum back as you come down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, walk into plank. Inhale at the top of your plank. Exhale, lower down. Keep the integrity of the spine. Back bend on the inhale, baby or full cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold the down dog, take a breath. Good. One last time, walking hands to feet. On your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise to stand, arms come over the head. Exhale, Tadasana, arms by your sides. Inhale, arms lift high. Exhale, sit back into chair. Hold and breathe. The mental toughness, right? Gotta have a strong mind to have a strong body. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Good. On your inhalation, straighten up through the legs. Exhale, fully forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, walk it out to plank. Inhale at the top of your plank. Exhale, lowering down with integrity in the spine. Back bend of your choice on the inhale. Downward facing dog on the exhale. Hold the dog. On your inhalation, the left or the right leg is going to lift high. Exhale to bring it to the top of the mat. Good. Plant the right hand, left hand, sorry, and reach up with the right. You can always have the back knee down if you would like more stability, but make sure that the front knee is over the front ankle. Love the use of blocks. You can have a block under the hand. That's awesome. Nice. Looking up, if that's okay for the neck. Look down. Frame the front foot. Drop the back knee as if it's lifted. Untuck the back toe and rise up into a long, low lunge. This is not like our 90-90. Our foot is out longer and there's an openness in the back hip. It's going to look different for everyone. Everyone's ability to open their back hip is different, but the knee stays over the ankle. If you're like this, you gotta bring it back in. If you're like this, you gotta bring it out. Like, you gotta make those adjustments for yourself. Yeah. Good. Slight back bend, which means that we're, like, our thumbs are kind of reaching towards the back of the room. Yeah, very nice. Reaching out towards the mirror. Slightly hinge at the hip. We're going to take the left arm to the outside of the thigh and the right arm to the low back, coming into a twist. Find the breath, easy and deep. Good. The inhale brings both arms up and over the head. Exhale to plant the hands, top the back toes, downward facing dog. It might seem like a lot to do with one exhale, so if you need to take more breaths, please do so. On the inhalation, left leg lifts high. Exhale to bring it to the top of the mat. Plant the right hand, lift up with the left arm. Option always to drop the back knee, but keeping the back hip long for you, whatever that means for you. But that means that instead of being back here, we're sending the knee forward. However, we're positioning the foot in such a way that the knee stays over the ankle. Good. Keep reaching, pressing the floor away through that supporting hand. If your back leg is lifted, squeeze the heck out of it, right? So it's really, really engaged. Look down, plant the foot or the back knee if it's not planted already, and then lift your arms over your head. Long, low lunge. So making those adjustments. Good. Tuck or untuck knee, it doesn't really matter. To me, probably matters in some way, but just choose what feels best. Nice. So reaching the thumb slightly back as the knee moves forward. So this knee, the momentum of your low body is forward. The momentum of the upper body is backwards, right? That's the way you want to think about it. Find the breath, reach out towards the mirrors. Good. Hinge forward slightly. Take the right arm to the outside and the left hand to the low back twist. Keep lifting the chest up, lengthening the spine. And on the exhalations, finding a little more depth, even if it's just an idea, even if it's not physically happening, just imagine you're sending that invitation to the body. Like maybe. The inhalation brings both arms up and over the head. The exhale plants the hands and brings you to down dog. The inhalation brings right leg up high. The exhale brings it to the top of the mat. Good. Finding your bearings here. You're on the ball of the back foot. Back heel is lifted. Wonderful. When an inhale comes, rise all the way up into a high lunge position, Anjaneyasana. Nice. Yeah. Hands come behind the back, either interlacing the fingers or clasping onto a wrist, whichever feels better. You're going to open up the heart, look up. Now squeeze the back leg. Feel the glute squeezing, right? That's where your stability is in these strong, strong legs. Release, bring arms back up and over the head. Exhale brings you all the way down to the mat. Back bend of your joints on an inhale. Downward facing dog on an exhale. Good. The inhalation lifts the left leg high. Exhaling to bring it to the top of the mat. One or several steps. Set yourself up. Good. Balancing on the back. Ball of the foot will rise on an inhale. High lunge position. Good. Arms come behind. Either interlacing fingers. Grab other wrists if you did that. And clasp opposites. So like if you're clasped this way, clasp this way. Try to do it evenly. And then come into your back. Good. Keep pressing down through the feet, feeling the strength in the legs. Soften the muscles of your face. They cannot help you. Good. release the grip on your inhale, both arms come up over the head. Exhale all the way down to the mat. Back bending on the inhale. Child's pose on the exhale. So widen out the knees a lot, big toes stay together. Coming to rest the forehead down, maybe even stacking the arms so that you can rest your forehead on your forearms. Recovery position, that's what this is. Recovery or crisis, really, it could be a crisis position. Hide under your desk. Taking some deep breaths, feeling a little cooling in the body. Straighten out the arms if they are not straight. Lift the hips, tuck the toes, down dog. Wonderful. Walking the feet all the way to the top of the mat. Fold over your legs once you get there. On your inhalation, bend your knees and then rise to stand. Arms coming up and over the head. Then we arrive with Tadasana, arms down by your sides. Very nice. All right, so we'll talk for just a second. So the press down to come up is something I say that might not make sense with just words, but when you come up from your forward fold, this is what I want to see for basically all of us. Really, there's like no exception to this, is that even if you might have a relatively straight leg in your forward fold, when you come to stand, you're going to bend your knees and press down into your feet to rise up. The same way that when you're deadlifting, you press down to lift the bar up. You're not really pulling the bar. You're actually pressing down into the floor, and that is what gets you up. Does that make sense? It takes a little time for that, but really, eventually you'll be able to feel yourself. You're pushing the floor away. You're lifting yourself with your legs, not your back. That's why when you move furniture, they say lift with your legs. Well, if you think about that, people are like, well, what do you mean? Because I'm pulling with my arms, right? How do you lift with your legs? That's how you lift with your legs, right? You think about pushing away from the floor, and that lifts you up. Don't think about lifting up. Does that make sense? It's kind of funny, nuanced thing, but it really helps to flow back. Okay, so we've got we've got a combination flow, which I'm pretty excited about. So that means you should be excited also. But I'm going to show you what it is before we go there, because unlike a lot of yoga where they just take you in, it's really hard to like, when you're like this and I'm like, all right, now you're like, what's going on up there? What? So I want to show you first, and then we'll all do it together, okay? So our first movement, don't go there, I'm just going to show you, is going to be starting in a warrior two position. So you kind of see where my feet are. This is warrior two, relatively simple, nothing too crazy. We'll go from there into triangle. We'll come back to warrior two. And then the fun one, which we've been working on, is our half moon. So my block, of course, is on the wrong side. And then this is half moon. Okay, so is Nikki leaving? I think Nikki's walking out of the yes. So the question, so great time, right, to use. So if you're like, this is all a lot of bounce, if I'm here by the wall, oh, look at that, this is so nice, right? So please don't be afraid to use what's near you to use as balance, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason to be overly uncomfortable and off balance. You don't have to be. Okay, cool. So, well, I guess I'll go this way with you guys. So let's keep the right foot forward. The right foot forward, we're going to take a big step back with the left foot. And then we're going to open the back hip 90 degrees. The toes are going to end up facing this mirror. Okay. We're going to bring a bend into the front knee. The knee is over the ankle. So if you're like this, you need to bring your foot farther away. If you're like this, Shannon, that's how your knee is. Your knee is actually behind your ankle. Then you need to bring your foot in a little bit and bend your knee over. Yes. Very nice. And then the arms, looking over the right fingers. And this is warrior two. Yeah, when I have a mirror in front of me, I really like to stare myself down. Nice. So we're gonna just do a little adjustment here because I can feel it in myself, in my shoulders. My shoulders are actually quite elevated. So let's all flip the palms. As we do this, drop the shoulders out of the ears. Shoulder blades slide down the chest, or slide down the spine. And you can feel what that does. It lifts the chest. Good. And then without changing anything else, you're just gonna bring the hands back into their regular position. Yeah, everybody's neck got like an inch longer. Beautiful. Nice. We're gonna straighten through the front knee. Good. It can still have a little bend, doesn't need to be totally straight. Start to reach over the horizon first. You're gonna bring a big hinge into the front hip crease. And then when you can reach no further, then we come into Trikonasana triangle pose, where the arms rotate. What is that? Is that 45 degrees? Is it 90? I don't know. I'm not getting any confirmation on any of these numbers, so I don't.
I think it's 45.
Now is it 25?
45.
45. It's 45. Thank you. 45 from here.
No, you're right, 90.
It's 90.
Yeah, because this would be
Well,
one.
it's horizontal
Yeah.
and that's vertical.
You're right, you're right.
It's 90.
Okay.
Let the record show. Good. And then you want to think about the heart. The heart has like a kind of like a searchlight on it. Not a searchlight, but a spotlight on it. See if you can orient the heart slightly up towards the sky. So we're looking slightly up, opening. That top arm is reaching straight up. Top arm reaching straight up. Yeah. You're like, that's not gonna happen. So stop looking over at me and tell me what's my arm. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Pressing through the back foot. Come back up. And then bend the front knee. We're return. Here we are. Yay. Oh my God, look what I have. I didn't even plan that. There it is. Okay, so from here, we're gonna start to shift the weight forward. Ooh, check this out. Oh, wow. Too relaxed. Very good. Nice. So the hip, the top hip is open towards the side of the room, and the toes are pointed towards the mirror, right? So they're not pointed down, they're pointed towards the mirror. I think it's all the cleaning chemicals in here today that make us off balance, right? Yeah, it's not an easy one.
No, I think it's me.
It's a hard one. Good. Step back to warrior two. Good. Yeah, we arrived. All right. Everybody step into Tadasana. We're going to take one flow through and then we'll go again. On the inhale, arms top. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift on an inhale. Down to the mat. Yeah, exhale. Hug the elbows in. Back bend of your choice. On an inhale. Downward facing on an exhale. The inhale brings feet to hands. Exhale over the legs, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, press down to rise up. Exhale, Tadasana, arms by your sides. Lovely. It's like a palate cleanser, you know, the vinyasas in between each side. Do you feel cleansed? You're like, I'm like this. I could be drinking coffee and having waffles. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna face this way now, just so, because I want to be able to do the exact same thing as you and not be facing away from it. So that's fine. You're fine. You're gonna stay where you are. Oh, yeah. You guys are all staying where you are. Okay. All right. So the left is where we need to block up and slightly to the left. Yeah. We're gonna take a big step back with the right foot, and then open the back hip, and then find it. So if you're not sure, just look, right? You can just see what is happening with the position of the knee over the ankle. Yes, very nice. Good, so front foot is facing straight ahead, back foot is 90 degrees open. Yeah, and kind of straight through the back foot. Lift the arms and look over the left fingertips. Palms are facing down, yes. Shoulders relax. A slight tuck down of the ribs. So that we're not hyperextending the low back. And with that slight pelvic tilt, roll the shoulder blades down the spine a little bit, lifting the heart. Awesome. Okay, straightening through the front knee. Reach out over the horizon. Reaching. And then when you can reach no more, a 90-degree rotation of the arms. Very nice. And then just facing this way. Perfect. Yes. Breathing. Right, ocean breathing. That's what they call the breath in our yoga. It's an ocean breath. Pressing to the back foot, rise up. Find the bend in the knee, back to warrior two. Very nice. And now we're gonna start to shift the weight forward, finding the block. The top hand can also just remain on the hip. You don't need to have the arm reaching up. Yeah, I know for a lot of our survivors, right, that tissue around your armpit can be really freaking tight. Yeah. Return to warrior two. What? Shannon's doing aerial yoga. It's pretty impressive. She's oh, pretty funny. Nice. Bring it forward, step into Tadasana. And we'll go through a flow and we'll do a final down dog. Yeah, perfect time. I mean, we're late as usual, but for us, this is pretty good time. On the inhalation, arms come over the head, reach up, get long. Exhale, push your bum back as you swan dive down. Halfway lifting on the inhale. Down to the mat on the exhale, hugging the elbows in. Back bend of your choice on the inhalation. And down dog on the exhale, our last down dog of the day. Reaching the hips high, finding as much length and extension as you can in your spine. Dropping down to the knees. We'll crisscross at the ankles and come to be on our bones. We're going to take block. You can do, if you're home and you have a block, you can do like a firm pillow or two pillows. We're going to take a block and we're going to put it underneath the sacrum. So the sacrum is your upper butt. It's not your lumbar spine. So that's important to know the difference. You don't want this on your L's. So upper butt. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it should feel quite stable because your sacrum is a little bit flat. So that's why, like, when we're doing boat or some poses, you can kind of balance on that because it's kind of like that flat spot. Very nice. All right, so we're gonna do a few things as we're here, but first we're just gonna take a few breaths because it's gonna be really nice. You might put your hands on your low belly and just feel the space that the body has to breathe. This is gentle inversion where the heart is lower than the rest of the body. Good. We're gonna hug the right knee in. And you'll know immediately if the block isn't in the right place because you'll fall off of it. So if that happens to you, please adjust your block. Good. And then if you'd like, you can start to straighten the left leg out. The heel remains down. So that might feel nice for you. If you don't like it, just keep a bend in that left knee. Breathing, nice, soft, deep breaths. It might sound like a oxymoron, like deep breathing, but soft, right? But really, we're just looking for long in-breaths and long out-breaths. Just trying to avoid shallow, making sure that the low belly is moving with the breaths. If you straighten the left leg, bend that knee and plant the foot. Good. And then you're going to take the right ankle and cross it on top of that left thigh. So we're in a figure four. Good. And from here, you might want to bend at that left hip, clasping behind the hamstring. And is just like a regular figure four, but we have the benefit, the kind of the advantage of gravity, because our bum is up. Yeah, so it's kind of a nice variation. And now that we have blocks, so many blocks, we can do it. Yeah. Gonna plant the left foot if it's lifted. And plant the right foot, and now hugging the left knee in. Option to straighten the right leg, keeping the heel down. You might feel like there is like a little pinchiness sensation that might arise in the left hip, so just negotiate that. That doesn't mean anything bad is happening, right? But just this is where we kind of learn those edges, what the sensation feels like. It's too far, what's just enough. Plant the right foot. Yeah, and then bring the ankle across the thigh, perhaps hugging in the right legs in your figure four. The messages that we give the body through the breath in yoga, we try to make really intentional, right? Which is everything's okay. Everything's good. It's true. A lot of giggling going on. Yes. All right, planting the right foot and then the left, lifting your hips just enough to remove the block, and then lowering down once the pelvis touches. Give your knees a hug in, but bring your knees really wide and rock side to side. Stretch the legs out long and bring your arms over your head. Big stretch. Oh, yeah. Good, knees come in once again, hands behind the hamstrings, and we're gonna roll ourselves into a position. Oh, no. Just roll it on up. Sitting up on the blocks, just taking, we only have a short amount of time. Let's take, oh my God, I have like so many texts and calls because of the stressful having a phone. Okay, I'm gonna take 2 minutes on the clock for quiet time. You don't have to call this meditation. Don't put pressure on yourself to clear your mind or anything like that. You're just taking 2 minutes. Do our best to focus on the breath. You might want to find a focal point, either maybe the low belly rising and falling, or perhaps at the tip of your nose, the sensation of the breath going in and out. Or maybe it's the sound of your breath. Try to pick one thing to let the mind rest. And when you do get distracted, what will happen? Just notice and gently return your attention to the breath. That's the breath. Drawing in a deep inhalation, bring your shoulders up to the ears, open your mouth, exhale, let your shoulders drop. One more time. And the eyes open, drop chin to chest, pressing hands to heart, taking a moment to give yourself gratitude and thanks for coming to your practice. Sending that gratitude outward to include those who practiced with you to create this community, Sangha, where we can come and do this. Gratitude for the space, for Dragon Park, Vermont, for our community. Finally, offering respectful obeisances to all of the teachers who have walked the path before us. Gratitude to the lineage of yoga from which we draw from to practice today. All of our teachers, both yoga and otherwise, brought us where we are. Ultimately, the goal being to come out of the darkness and into the light. And with this heart full of gratitude and humility, lift the chin, I end class with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much for letting me be your guide in your yoga practice. It was a good one. And thank you to those of you at home. And I'm sorry about the Zoom link. For the record, I don't have anything to do with that, so I don't think I would have been able to help any of these people anyways.
Nice.
Thank you, Justine.
Thank you, Caroline. Caroline made it in quicker than anybody.
I was texting you, sitting there refreshing my email.
You're like, what's happening?
What's
Thanks,
happening?
Alan. Alan
Glad
made
I
it.
got here. Thank you.
Yeah, me